videos were originally recorded and created for school projects about varying topics and has since then become a trend. Any and all posted Merlin and Hollyhock episodes will be related to whatever school project they were created for and will have information relevant as such. They can also be watched as standalone informational videos, as all information was carefully researched, and my teachers all agreed because I got an A on every one. So far. Last names have been censored to the best of my ability to provide anonymity. Thank you.
Penguins! 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 Penguins!
Holly, I can't explain it if you keep interrupting me.
Fine.
Okay. Speciation. You already know what that is. The development of a new species over time, usually from a type of geographic isolation. 2 types of isolation, 3 types within them. So how does this apply to Galapagos penguins and African penguins?
At some point they were one species and then they became another?
Good job. To figure out exactly what type of isolation occurred, it's important to first find out exactly what the 2 species are like and how they act, starting with the Galapagos penguins. To start, they are monogamous and mate for life. That just means that they take one mate for their entire lives. The males are slightly larger than the females, which is sexual dimorphism. Courtship between the penguins includes mutual preening, flipper padding, and bill dueling. Galapagos breed up to 3 times per year, molting each time, making them the only penguins to molt more than once a year. They build their nests out of whatever they can find available. They mostly eat small fish like sardines, but their predators are seals and sharks. Once the eggs hatch, the parents immediately begin taking turns on who guards the babies and who forages for food. Because of how hot it gets near the equator, the Galapagos struggle to keep cool. They are mostly black, but they have a C-shaped band of white feathers around their eyes.
Huh. They must stay in the water a lot.
Yes, probably. Now, the African penguins are also monogamous, but unlike the Galapagos, they don't have any sexual dimorphism. African penguin mating rituals are a visual and auditory performance that ends with a bow. The penguins always return to the same breeding sites every year. They only mate once a year. The penguins usually lay their eggs in depressions in the sand. After the chicks are 30 days old, both parents leave the nest to forage because the chicks can handle themselves on their own. They usually eat small fish like the Galapagos, but added to their diet is squid. Predators include leopards and mongoose. They live mostly in Namibia and parts of South Africa, and they are easily identified by the U shape on their white chests. They are also known as jackass penguins because of their mating call. Some may spend entire days swimming in the ocean just to keep cool. Colonies of African penguins are also called rookeries.
Okay, so we have to figure out what type of isolation occurred to split the species off. The traits they still share, traits that are different, and where our penguins fit in their phylogenetic tree?
Correct. So we know that these 2 penguins, and all penguins, originally came from one type of bird that lived around 71 million years ago, according to Penguin World. A study conducted in 2014 suggests that penguins are related to Procellophorames, which includes albatrosses and petrels. Evidence also shows that most penguins evolved around New Zealand, while others evolved in places like parts of South America and Antarctica. Penguins A and B, dubbed so by researchers, gave rise to penguins like the king penguin and Gen 2 penguins. However, penguin C developed into the Galapagos, Humboldt, Magellanic, and African penguins. There's our 2.
Oh, so since the African penguins and the Galapagos penguins are so closely related, the closer they are in the phylogenetic tree.
Yes, exactly!
So that places the ancestor penguin at the root, then penguins A, B, and C, and then the African and Galapagos penguins stem from penguin C.
Spot on. Now, you already know that the penguins live in different locations. Galapagos are thought to have made their way to the islands via the Humboldt Current. So that would make the isolation...
Habitat isolation.
Yes! And even if the penguins were in the same location, they'd still be separated by their behavior. The mating ritual for the African penguins would seem foreign to a Galapagos.
Yeah. Okay, I read about this in the notes. Both the penguins still have the pockets of feathers that hold in warmth, and their markings are similar, but not exactly the same. The Galapagos have a C-shaped ring around their eyes and are mostly black, but the African penguins have a white belly with a U-shape. The Galapagos are also nearly 10 inches taller than the African penguins.
Right. 10 inches may not seem like a lot, but pull out a ruler, and it looks a lot different.